Welcome, everybody, to Wizard World Virtual Experiences. Damien, I know you're here for Victor, and we all love Victor Danielson, and it's why I put him on the majority of the panels lately, because he's the best. But it's me, Mike G., your host for Wizard World Virtual Experiences. Hey, everybody, we're doing free panels featuring all kinds of celebrity guests from all different genres, from pop, music, sci-fi, comic books, sports. I mean, literally everything. And we're streaming them to you free, but people are back to work and going back to school. And so those are definitely happening, majority on the weekend. So Thursday night, Friday night, Saturday and Sunday, just like the old Comic-Con days. Unfortunately, we can't be in a physical space with you right now, but this is our best attempt at an online convention hall and convention experience. So we're adding a little bit something into it. Sometimes people miss the panels when they stream live earlier or, over the weekend. So Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday night, we'll be streaming some of those panels to you again in a shortened version. So we've edited them down a bit, cut out some of the extraneous material like the intros, like I'm doing right now, and just bring you the finest and the funniest and the best moments of each of these panels. Tonight is the Legends of Rock and Roll. This panel occurred last week. It's featuring some of the rock and roll legends and greats, Mary Wilson, CJ Ramone, Richie Ramone, Sean McNabb, and Vinny Appice. It was moderated by Seth Everett of the Hall of Justice podcast, and he's a sports commentator as well. So here it is. Without further ado, we'll be hanging. What's up, Philip Nichols? Thanks for hanging out. I also see Susan in the chat. And again, I mentioned Damien. So we're doing the best of a shortened 35-minute version of the original hour-long panel, Legends of Rock and Roll. Hey, just as a quick reminder before we get to that, these panels are free, but there are some virtual experiences that you can participate in. Autographs and video recorded messages with all of these legends of rock and roll will be available through Thursday of this week. So whether you're watching this live or later in the week, take advantage of those. But the live one-on-one chats. All right. So normally the fans get to ask questions in the comments, and I encourage you to Gwen, I know I said apathy. Appice is his brother's pronunciation, Gwen. And you'll see in this video, we had a big discussion beforehand. Vinny likes to go by apathy. Seth, who's watching right now on Twitch, will let you know. But anyway, those one-on-one chats, if you want to ask them an individual question and have a once-in-a-lifetime experience with these rock greats, those are happening tomorrow, everybody. Tomorrow. So this is your last chance tonight until 11 p.m. to purchase those one-on-one video chats. They'll be happening tomorrow at 1 p.m. Pacific and 4 p.m. Eastern. But here we go. Without further ado, that's enough for me, but I will be hanging in the chat. So continue to chat away, laugh, guffaw, emoji, shout out to all of your favorite legends of rock and roll. Without further ado, here we go, everybody. The Legends of Rock and Roll panel, moderated by Seth Everett.
Also, for the folks watching, let us know where you're watching from. We love to find out from all parts of the world where people are watching from. Let's do ladies first. Mary, when you have this body of work that people constantly reference and there's constant homages to, do you feel all of that? Because it is a day doesn't go by where someone's not referencing one of your songs, and it's all the time. And how do you get the appreciation for that?
My royalties? No, I'm just kidding. I'm only kidding.
There you go. All business.
I set it up. I had to go there.
Okay, and I had to be honest, right? Okay. But no, after, I think we're celebrating our 60th anniversary coming up. And after, all these years, finally, I realized how important the music was to other people. I mean, I was just doing it, and I'm still doing it because I have fun. And I enjoy being on stage. I mean, for me, being on stage is the only place in life where I really feel like I'm in heaven. I mean, even when mistakes are made, I still feel like I'm in heaven. So for me to hear people now tell me, and I'm sure they tell Diane, unfortunately, they can't tell Flo because Florence passed away in 1976. And so, to hear people say that the music from not just the Supremes, but Motown has influenced their lives and give them many moments of happiness and joy and all that stuff. That's really for me, the appreciation that one needs after a long career is to really hear that people really have not only enjoyed your music, but your music really affected their lives. And so that's to me the greatest, gratitude that I have for what I do. And I was just a background singer too. Hey, hey, one records, yeah, singing my backgrounds. Well, 10 of them anyway. That's another story.
But Mary brings up a great point, and you guys all have mentioned it. You guys miss performing. I mean, you guys are performers, and it's in your blood, and that's what keeps you going. And you guys haven't been able to do that in a long time. What's that been like?
It's awful. It's awful. I'm lucky. I get to do things here. I got a little studio, and I'm doing a weekly drum thing for my drum company. And it's funny, there's nobody in the room, but after I'm done, I feel a little bit like I played a gig. I'm like, wow, I did it, it's finished. But man, it doesn't take the place of coming off the stage and feeling amazing, So.
You still on the weed, Vinny?
What's that?
You still on the weed?
Weed?
Yeah, if you feel like that.
Oh, no.
It's
Years ago, yeah. Back in the 80s. Back in the 80s. But I play all heavy and metal and all that stuff. But my roots were listening to Mary and all the Motown stuff. I mean, as Sean said, especially for bass and drums, man, that was the way to learn how to play a groove. And it just, that was so inspiring. It was amazing.
Yeah, I hear a lot of bassists talk about James Jamerson and his playing.
Oh man!
And see, a lot of people, Vinny, don't realize that for Motown we had like three different drummers who played, and they would alternate. But but it still was the Motown sound. But I agree with you in terms of when you're playing, that's when you're happy. I mean, I think most of us played for ourselves, or sang for ourselves or whatever. We weren't singing for an audience back in the earlier days, but that was a gift that we were given, and we enjoyed doing that. But it's better, with the audience there. I guess we all can agree to that. Right?
Hey, Mary, did you hear a version of
Sean, I'm getting you in there, I promise.
Oh, no problem. I gotta ask you this.
Oh, Sean's not there yet? Oh, okay.
Did you hear a version of You Keep Me Hanging On by the Vanilla Fudge?
Yeah.
Oh, are you kidding? Yes, I was envious.
That's my brother.
Okay, that's
my older brother.
That's Appice. Appice.
No, he's Appice.
Peachy. Yeah. That's just a piggyback.
I want to say this. People don't realize we have so much fun backstage, and this is what happened before we came on today, right, guys? We were talking with each other, and we were like having so much fun. And so Sept said, "Save it for the show." But the show for us is also backstage before we go on stage, and then we're in another place way up there that's so much fun with the audience. So it's great. It's great being a musician and a singer and an entertainer. It really is. I'm sorry.
Sean, let's get Sean.
You're right.
Just to piggyback off that, what I think we all loved about, Mary's records and body of work was that it was going down in the room. They were getting a vibe on the tip.
Yeah, that's right.
And I think all of our favorite records have that, and that might be missing a little bit in some of today's music, but getting back to what we're doing a lot of live streams and recordings, and just trying to get music out there to people, because we've got a captive audience right now, even though we can't do it all live.
You mean the Supremes didn't use Pro Tools?
Are you kidding? They recorded us on 4 tracks. I mean, I remember Holland Dozier Holland used to sit there with razor blades and cut the actual tape.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I remember.
This is
licensing tape.
Oh, I know one thing before I pass on, because we haven't heard from CJ over there. He's sitting like really cool. But I was talking about the silver lining, Richie, that I'm seeing in this time that we have off. The silver lining being I've had a chance to sit back, and I've been on the road for almost 60 years. And so I've had a chance to really sit down and really be by myself, to be here and hear my own thoughts. I love the fans, but I enjoyed this time off, but I cannot wait to get back. But there is a silver lining, and we sometimes have to look hard for it, and it's hard. I believe that entertainers have been hit very hard. People don't know how hard we've been hit, because we're not working, and that's where we earn our money, but it's not about money. It's about, entertaining you. So I'm off. There we go.
Love you.
Great.
I just wanted to say one thing, going back to something that Mary said about this situation and how bad it is. This is the most time I've spent with my wife and my 3 children in probably 15 years. I mean, I have not been home for this much time in a while. I don't know how happy they are about it, but I've been, it's I think it's kind of been a reset for a lot of people. So like like really checking in on your friends to make sure they're okay, and and having real heart-to-heart conversations, because you don't have the distraction of the usual stuff that you have. So I agree, the silver lining is there. It's not really that easy to see, but it's definitely it's definitely, for me, it's kind of been a reset, helped me clear up my head and pack up some stuff and just think a little bit differently.
Right. Well, are we going to have a convention, next year, hopefully? Will they have one where we all can actually be with each other and perform? And, I'd love to sing with one of the bands, that might be playing Expression. Hey, you, Vinny. Hey.
Yeah, I'm up for it. I'll even play low so you could hear everybody.
Do you need a bass player?
Oh yeah. Yeah, I'm looking for a band. No, just kidding. But it's really wonderful that so many people around the world are able to see us like this. I mean, the pandemic has definitely hit us in our hearts, but yet still, I think it's wonderful that we found a way of still reaching out to people. And this is definitely a new way. And I don't want it to continue like this all the time, but let's just add it to the mix next year when everything opens up. And, hopefully everything will open up. Let's get out there and vote, folks, okay? And also, okay, and then let's get wear your mask like Richie was doing. I think I wear mine all the time. In fact, I better go and get on. I have about 100 masks. Wait just a second. Check this out, what I found online, and I'm not getting paid for it. Wait a minute.
That's a great one.
Oh, that's cool.
I'm in a middle too. Okay, this is better than yours, Richie. Ha 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 ha. So anyway, but the thing is, we found we're very wonderful. I think the human race is very wonderful in really being increased, to find out ways of handling certain things. So we can get through this pandemic if we do come out and handle what's going on and do the right thing. Wear that mask. Okay, that's my political statement for today.
Clancy writes and says, Motown really is the root of everything. Were the early sounds of Motown a big influence on your music? And by the way, Mary Wilson is my new spirit animal.
What? I'm your animal? I'm a kitten? A flamingo? Or what am I, a bird?
Okay. I didn't go there.
Oh, boy.
I just thought I'd open it up. But anyway, there you go. So Motown, I think, inspired a lot of people. I mean, I'm very dear friends with Bill Wyman of the Rolling Stones, and he and I talk, well, we don't talk now, we're on the email, but we talk a lot about, how the music was just so important to so many people around the world. But I have to say that I was inspired by people prior to Motown, like Chuck Berry. Little Richard was my favorite person. There were so many people who, we all stand on someone's shoulder, I guess is what I'm trying to say. And we at Motown, I think we all stood on the shoulders of those before us. Those in the 50s, the doo-wop groups and all those people. The Frankie Lyman and the Teenagers were my favorite. I mean, I was a groupie of them when I was 13, 14 years old. So, and that's been a long time ago. Anyway, so there you go.
Wow.
Vinny.
Can we just all hang out and sit back and listen to Mary talk and tell stories?
Yeah, I know. It's
Like a
great.
campfire.
Well,
Can we get like a campfire in the center of the screen and we can all just listen to Mary tell stories?
Well, I tell you what, you don't have to do that. Since you're home, read my 3 books. Okay, I have 3 books. One is Supreme Dream Girl. My life is a supreme. And I do talk about all of us in the business, and I, having met both Liz Diddley and Chuck Berry and all those people back in the day that inspired us, and then on to the Lena Hornes, the Sammy Davis, the Bob Hopes. I mean, We had a great career, and you guys have too, because I've read most of your bios, and I've seen some wonderful things that you all are doing. Sean, you're an actor, and I understand you because I want to act too. So we'll talk later. And Vinny,
Right.
I mean, and all the people you guys have played with. I mean, it's just amazing the acts, the Beatles, John Lennon. I mean, that's great. I mean, so we've all had these wonderful careers where we reach and played with other greats, and it's just a wonderful feeling.
And you guys have movies coming out. Sean, a movie about Leonard Skinner.
Yeah, that Skinner movie Street Survivors is out. It's on Amazon. I played David Krebs, Aerosmith's manager in the 70s. But
That's awesome.
Mary, we got to talk because I'm going to hook you up. All right?
Yeah, because I'm a great actress, okay? I can, at 76, I can play somebody's grandma. I got 11 grandchildren.
Wow. Oh, man.
Do it.
And Richie, tell us about Head Cheese, the movie.
Yeah, well, it's like a throwback to the 80s ghoulie with, animatronics rather than digital effects, with puppets. And it's just a bunch of people take over a small town. And I play myself in the movie. And it's really fun. It's on Amazon now. You can get it. In January, we start fielding Protege Moya, which is Protect Me, which I play an ancient vampire. And that's going to be a really, so I'm getting into the acting stuff, which is a lot of fun, and I hope it continues. I just find it I never laugh so much. These movies are produced and written and directed by Robbie Lopez out there in Kansas City, Missouri. That's where we shoot everything. And it's just a lot of fun to, it's a different career for me, so it gives me a little kick to want to do more.
Cool.
Good for you, brother. That's good stuff.
Yeah.
That is good stuff. Do you find a lot of parallels between the music and the acting, Richie?
None at all. Acting is so much more fun. Music, I started playing drums when I was 7 years old. So I've been playing, I don't know, 57 years. It's a long time playing the drums. So I find this more exhilarating because I've mastered drums. I'd take anybody on except Vinny.
I'm glad you got your hearing still after that much, unlike me. It took a little bit of a toll. Yeah, right? Huh? Closed caption. Turn the closed caption on for me. So.
Well, Vinny, there's so many directions we can go with your career. One question that's been on a lot of people's mind, which is, you played with Ozzy Osbourne, and he had such a persona before the reality shows. When you guys were on stage, he had such a persona. Was he like that all the time? Was he a different guy? Was he a guy that was like read the newspaper, did the crossword puzzle like everybody else? What was that whole experience like?
It's the same guy.
Yeah.
No, that's the way he was. On the road, it's a lot of fun. You never knew what was going to happen, and we played that song War Pig. This is with Sabbath and Ozzy and me, and and there's a hi-hat part that goes. It's in time. Bop 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 bop. And the band goes da da. So Ozzy came out and clapped at a different tempo with the audience. The whole audience at a different tempo, and we're shit.
Of course.
You never knew what was going to happen. We had to just make it work, and he's just a lot of fun and crazy stuff, but it was fun playing with him. He kept throwing water on me too, like after about 3 or 4 songs I'm playing, and he thought it was fun. He had a bucket of water, he'd throw it and go all over me, all over the drums, so the crew would have to come up and wipe everything. So that went on for a couple of times, and then in the morning at the hotel before we left, Sharon asked me, is everything okay? I said, yeah, he's still throwing water on me. And she goes, he is. And then it stopped. It's like immediately. Who's the boss? Who's the boss?
Can I ask a serious question?
Sure.
Really want to know, because I'm a meathead, how you guys deal with every day during this? How do you lift yourself up? Because I've been in a funk for 6 months. I did something for the Joy Ramone birthday bash May 19th, but I can't get out of the hole. I'm not in my studio. I'm not writing like I should be doing. I mean, I should have 7 albums written by now, okay? But I have like 10 albums of 1 minute, you know? So it's just, how do you guys stay so positive? And I think it's not just me. I think it's for the world. How are you guys like, because I really feel, you know, I'm faking it right now the best I can. You know, like I'm trying to be, but underneath all that, it's really hard for me. And I think you guys have gotten through that, whatever you called it, that thing before, Mary, whatever that thing. I haven't found that yet.
That silver lining. So Richie, what sign are you? I'm from the 60s, you know, so I ask everybody, what sign are you? Are you Gemini?
Leo.
Oh, no wonder I married a Leo. Oh my God. Oh my God, that's part of the problem. No, I'm just kidding. No, I'm only kidding about that. My battery's running low. Why? Oh no, God. Okay, let someone else talk while I check on my battery.
Hey, Richie, for me, when something comes along, like a challenge, like years ago, all these drum clinics came at me, and I never did them before. My brother did them, and it's a whole different thing than playing in the band. I thought, if I say no, it's easy to say no and let it go, and then I don't have to worry about it. But I said yes, because I accept the challenge and then try to, then I have to make it work, you know? And once I do it, it makes me feel good, and I want to do more. Here, I'm luckily in the studio, I'm doing a lot of sessions, and then this online thing. So each thing I do, it's like baby steps. Each thing you do, you feel good. You went, wow, I did it, you know? I took my old drum books out that I learned from, and in the other rooms, a pad and sticks, and I'm reading them, and now then I'm writing. I don't know if you can see this.
Oh, you're writing music? Cool. Yeah, I did that.
Like another drum book. I had one out, but I got software, and I relearned how to use it. And now I'll play a lick and go, that's cool. And I'll sit there and write it out, you know? So each little thing makes you feel like you accomplished something. And keep going. Don't get in a rut. You're too talented, you know? You want to do stuff.
The hardest thing is to just put on the amplifier, just to start, like you said. Once you start, you feel, if I start, I could stay in there for 9 hours.
Right,
but
that's it.
Getting that first thing, oh, I'm going to do that, or I'm just going to lay in bed and eat cheese doodles and have a beer by 9 a.m. You know, that's it. You know, an easy way to go.
Yeah, like they always say, the hardest part is to start. The first step.
Richie, I got to tell you, from when this whole thing started, because I had come off probably the toughest year I had of touring. Last year was a brutal year for me. So when this all started, I made up my mind I was gonna get healthy. So I just started. I live near some nice hills. I got Briones Park in my backyard. So I just started going out for hikes once in a while. And I got to tell you, probably more than anything I've done since I came off the road, that was the one thing that really got me on a much better path than I was on. I stopped drinking. I dropped a whole bunch of weight. I just, you know, reconnected with my family. Like, I realized I couldn't do the things I wanted to do, like write songs and stuff, because up here and in here, I was just stuck. I was stuck from all that time on the road. And you know me on the road, a bottle of Jack a day is a light day, you know?
Oh, I knew that.
So when I came home, I knew I had to knock all that stuff off. And that's a tough thing to do when all of this is going on, right? Because you feel the pressure and the stress, and I just wanted to get up and pour one and forget about it. But I realized I was going deeper instead of climbing out of it. As soon as I knocked all that off and spent a little time in nature, spent some real time with my family, cleared my head up, I probably wrote 30 decent, really good songs compared to what I was doing before then, because I freed up all that space in my head.
That's great.
You know, I think that for everyone it's different, isn't it? And life is like that as well. I've always been a happy person. I mean, I woke up every morning thinking that that's what everyone did. And then I realized in life that that's not the way everyone is wired. Everyone is wired in a different way, and you find your own way. The most important thing that I found is that my mom and my dad, my family, they really instilled some wonderful things inside of me. And so, I mean, if you read my books, I'll tell you, I'm not trying to sell the book, but I mean, some of these, I really should be probably depressed, all the things that happened to me, and I can't believe how I survived. But I think it has to do a lot with your inside. And so maybe this time alone is what a lot of people need. It's just to now see how they feel now about everything that's going into their life. What about the people that you had in your life? Not you, I mean, even me. I mean, I've been around some people, let me tell you, crooks, but I dated one of the gang leaders in the projects when I was, young. And I don't know how I still survived all of that around me. But and it had to do with what was inside. Now, when I said sometimes that silver lining, maybe this pandemic it really is horrible, but maybe it's given a lot of people time, CJ, as you said, to sit back and really rethink their lives. Maybe that's what we have to do, rethink. So I'm happy I'm at home able to clean up my house, my closet. I haven't done it in years. I've had other people So, it's different for everyone. But hey, look at us. We're all here together, Richie. Hey, yep. Come on, give me a big smile, honey. Come on. Yay!
How awesome is this panel so far? Amazing words of wisdom from Mary, Sean, Vinny, CJ, and Richie. They're going to continue to talk about just words of advice for upcoming musicians and projects that they're working on. But remember, you can get one-on-one chats with them tomorrow. So definitely check that out. Let's get back into this.
And, while everybody else is sitting around, we're working on our craft, and it's a weekly thing, and I got a coach and everything, and I'll turn you on to it because it's been real helpful through this quarantine for me. And I feel like my work has elevated in the last 6 to 8 months as well. So I'm going to turn you on to it, okay?
Memorize a lot better. That's
right on, brother.
Do you have a good coach? I mean, I want someone here in Vegas since I have all this time, because I was seeing a coach there in LA, Margie Haber School, and that was really cool. But now I'm in Vegas for all this year. I need to keep studying as well, and I find that that's for me. Learning more is always great, for my skills.
You can do Zoom now. Those coaches will tell you if you can pull this off on Zoom, you can pull that off on any set anywhere.
Mm-hmm. So
So you're in Vegas, Mary? You're in Vegas, Mary?
I'm in Las Vegas. Yes, I'm in Las Vegas.
Car wash and gamble while you're waiting for your car to come out, right?
They closed. You can't gamble here. You know what? People from out of town come here, but I guess the people in town, we don't gamble that much. I lost too much.
That's right. The out of towners.
It's all tourists. A lot of people are commenting about all the experience shared by everyone. People loving CJ's comments. They're singling him out as well.
Well, everybody loves CJ.
This is a question. This is a question for everybody. This is a question for everybody. It says, what advice do you have for musicians today? There's a lot of musicians in today's music, but also aspiring musicians that are watching, you guys.
Who wants to take that one?
You.
The first thing is vote Trump out. Otherwise, you can't be a musician unless you vote Trump out. That's my first thing. And number two is you have to practice and you have to have something. You have to be born with something. There's a little spark you're born with. You can't learn it out of a book.
Mm-hmm.
You can't learn it off of a video. You gotta have something in there. And if you don't have that thing in there, you're just gonna be another musician. That's all as far as you're gonna go. But you're born with a little nugget that if you treat it right, whatever instrument you play, you can make it happen. That's my feeling.
But it doesn't even need to be a musical thing. You don't have to be born with musical talent. For me, my will was far outpaced my musical talent. I still don't know how to read music. I don't even know the notes on the neck. When I go to jam with somebody, I have to watch what they're doing. in order to play along. So I'm a very unskilled player, but my will to be in a band and to make a living doing it far outpaced my inabilities. And that's what I credit to, being able to play in a band like the Ramones.
Yeah, but the way you strut around the stage and stroll around like, Keith Richards, that's natural. That's not forced.
Yep.
That's relaxed. And I love that about you and the way that works, you're not stiff, dude.
You guys are exactly right. And the other thing that you got to have is passion. You got to have passion to sit there and play and practice. And when we go on the road, it's not all roses, especially in the early days. You got to have the passion to deal with all living like, out of a hotel room and traveling and getting no sleep. And you guys all know that. So a lot of people don't have passion. They think they can learn something and that's going to be it.
But guys like you and Sean, who have played in multiple bands, that's another whole different aspect of it. When you know how to get out and hustle and your chops are good enough that you play with one good band and all of a sudden everybody knows what a good player you are and they come shopping for you down the road. And not that we all shop or anything.
On the intro, it was Mary, then Sean, then Vinny. You're exactly.
No, I don't think they did that on purpose.
No.
What is V come before R? No way. Think about it.
Hey, Seth.
I think we're Mary's Pips. Mary Wilson and her Pips.
Well, Mary was going first no matter what. There was no doubt about that.
Yeah.
You guys are all gentlemen. Thank you. You allowed the lady to go first. But to add to that, you got to have the talent. But see, there are a lot of talented people who are still living in the Brewster Projects where we grew up, who didn't make it. And a lot of times people don't get into the business because they want to make it. They get into it because they enjoy it. Then the other thing is that I think is very important is that, and Vinny, you said this, you got to have a passion for it. I'm not a great singer, but I love being on that. I have a passion for being on that stage. I'm one of the greatest performers in my head.
In reality too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So my
That's
passion stage. And you don't get into this business because you want to make money, because then you may not have a long, whatever. We all have been in the business a long time. I've been in there almost 60 years, as I said. And that longevity comes from that passion. It comes from having the talent and having the gift, but it also comes from wanting to be there, wanting to do it.
Right.
It's all of those things that we've all said combined. If you got them all, then you got it made. Some people have great voices. They do not like being on stage. I'll give you one example is Marvin Gaye. Well, I can't say he didn't like being on stage, but he was petrified at first being on stage. He really was. And I remember it was Martha Vandellas who actually showed him how to do the hitchhike, because he didn't even know how to dance. So a lot of times you have the talent, but you have all the other elements that go into it. So having the right people around you as well also helps all of that. So they put it all together in one package. For me, the Three Supremes, that's what made us so wonderful in the beginning, was that we each had that desire to want to be up there on that stage to sing and to use the gift that God gave us.
Right.
And so that's what for me made, because there's so many other girl groups who are much better than us, the Pointer Sisters, all of them, but we had that, whatever it was together that made it work.
Mm-hmm.
All right, well, now tell us the story how you hung out with James Brown the first time.
James Brown would call me and he would say, Mary, it's James. I'm like, hit me, and he said, stop. And like you said, Vinny, about Isaac, James was the same way. In person, he was the same person. Those things come with you. People say, well, what about Diane? How about what she? I said, she was the same like that when we were 13 years old. I don't think people change. I think that they bring with them to their craft who they are, and that makes them, or sometimes it breaks them. It's all part of it. It's all part of the package. It's good to have the whole package, but maybe you don't. So if you don't, what do? You get others to help you bring that together, to bring your dream alive. And that's what the Diane and Flo did for me. They're both great singers. Florence was a great singer. Diane, we know, was a wonderful singer. But I wasn't a great singer, but I had I was in the middle, and I had that passion for being the performer.
Yeah.
There you go.
I think you're being, I appreciate how humble you are, Mary, but you are a great singer. I have to tell you, you're a
Oh,
great,
yeah.
and not just for range or technical things.
That's all. I use what I have, and if that's great, then I'll take that. I mean,
But it's the emotion that you sing with. It's not always your range or your technical ability. It's the emotion you
That's
sing
right.
with, and
That's
how
right.
much you move people, and that's really your talent, in my opinion, in my very humble opinion.
We have just a final thought from everyone as we say goodbye here, a message to all the fans from all over the world that are watching. We can go around the room, and since we all are gentlemen here, we'll start with Mary, but we'll get a final comment from all of you guys.
oh, what,
Just a message to all the people watching, a greeting, words of wisdom, something prophetic.
I'll say, first of all, there is a silver lining. Sometimes it's awfully hard to find. And that I do believe that we do have an obligation to use our talents, our voices, to help our world move forward, not just America, but the world move forward. I do think that it matters, our legislations and things that we need to have passed. We need to do that to make sure that this I won't tell you who to vote for, but do vote. You know, it's very important. My thing is dreams do come true. And at 76, my dreams hopefully are still coming true. Sean, I want to be an actress. Richie, I want to be an actress. So, you know, guys call me. I'm going to be your grandma, your mom.
There you go. Sean, what about you?
You hit it on the head, Mary. And I would just say, I would leave everybody, let's just take a deep breath. We're going to get through this. Music's going to be back. And, you know, that deep breath is important because we get stressed out. But I just want to leave you with one thing. Let's empower our youth through this, you know, because that's where it starts. But let's empower
Agreed. Richie, you got a final thought for all the folks watching?
Did you say my name?
I did, sir.
Well, it took me out of number 5 to number 3. It must impress me.
It's not a ranking.
Just call us by numbers.
Maybe you want to be an accountant.
Contestant number 3.
Number 3. Bachelor number 3.
Let's get it together. Mask up, man. Let's mask up. Let's get through this. You know, nothing more matters than that. You know, we need to get out and vote. I mean, this is very important.
Okay.
More than ever right now. And let's just do this. Let's come together and let's make this happen, you know. And thank you everybody for being on the panel. And Mary, it's so cool to talk to you. And CJ, we'll see you soon. Yep. And thank you, everyone. We love you.
Vinny.
I want to be in a band with Mary.
There you go.
Get in line.
Be a good cross section, right?
She's got 2 rhythm sections.
Metal, heavy metal, and Mary Wilson, right? Right, Sean?
That's right. I'm in.
He's in. There we go. Well, anyway, you know what? Music's the best medicine for a lot of things. And I think this is a good time to listen to a lot of music. It feeds your soul, and we'll continue to do what we do and try to put that music out there. And thanks to the fans. If it wasn't for the fans all over the world, man, we wouldn't be here, you know. So everybody be safe and, you know, keep listening. And thank you.
Thank you, sir. And CJ, bring us home. Say something prophetic.
Yeah. Wow. Really, really great to be with all you guys. Sean, Vinny, Richie, Mary. Really great talking with you guys. And Seth, we appreciate you listening to our banter. But to the fans, hang in there. You can't go on forever. We're going to get back out there. We'll get to do what we love. You'll get to hear what you love. It's going to happen. It always seems like, you know, when things are really tough, it's never going to end. It's going to end. It's going to end at some point, and the world will get back to hopefully a better version of its old self.
Yeah.
So everybody stay tough, and we'll see you in a couple of months, I hope.
And can I say one thing? We all have to do our parts. Everybody out there is important. Okay, we have voices and instruments that we can many, many people, but it's a one on one. Whoever you meet during the day, it's a one on one, and it can mean a lot of lives to be saved if each of us do our parts.
Amen.
Yep.
People in the chat room promising to vote. Thank you so much to all of you guys. Vinny, CJ, Richie, Sean, Mary. This has been an absolute honor. These are legends of rock and roll, folks. My name is Seth Everett. Make sure you check out wizardworldvirtual.com.
Oh my gosh. Thank you all so much for tuning in, and apologies that my microphone was off for the last few minutes. That was the Legends of Rock panel. So awesome to see all of those legends: Mary Wilson, C.J. Ramone, Richie Ramone, Sean McNabb, Vinny Appice, all hanging out. We might have a band. Shout out to Major Mom 2018. Who's always checking in, and shout out to our fans in Australia who are watching, and continue to follow us. We're going to do these watch parties Monday through Wednesday, and then we're going to have new live panels starting Thursday through the weekend. I'm hosting trivia on Thursday night, Wiz Quiz. It's free, so check that out at wizardworldvault.com. And then we've got cast of October Faction. We've got a cast from the Batman movie universe. We've got cast members from Scary Movies coming up as well in this month of October. And then Bruce Campbell is hosting trivia next Thursday night, October 8th, Last Fan Standing. So check it all out at wizardworldvault.com. That's it for me. I hope you enjoyed the Legends of Rock and Roll rewatch party, and we'll see you tomorrow for some more rewatches and throughout the weekend for live Wizard World virtual experiences. Have a good night, everyone.